Once upon a time, in a quiet old town, there was a small antique shop. The shop was old and full of dust. Its windows were cloudy, and its wooden door made a loud creak when people opened it. Not many people noticed the shop, but inside it was full of interesting things. There were shelves full of books, old clocks, little glass animals, and shiny teapots. But the most beautiful things were the mirrors. There were mirrors everywhere. Some were tall and stood on the floor. Some hung on the walls. Some were big, with gold or silver frames. Others were shaped like ovals or hearts. They were clean, shiny, and proud. They liked showing people their reflections. They stood near the windows, where the sunlight made them shine. They thought they were very important. But in the very back of the shop, behind a coat rack and a dusty curtain, there was one mirror that looked different. It was not tall. Its frame was plain brown wood, and it had a long scratch across its glass. It looked like a soft line, almost like a scar or a crack, but it didn't break the mirror. It just made it look wrong. This mirror never got picked up. No one looked at it. Even the kind shopkeeper mostly left it alone. The scratched mirror felt lonely. It didn't speak. It just stayed quiet in the corner, hoping someone might need it one day. The other mirrors often talked to each other. They liked to whisper when no one was around. "Why is that old mirror still here?" one said. "Look at that ugly scratch," said another. "No one wants to see their face in something so broken." The scratched mirror heard them, but it didn't say anything. It just looked down at the floor and stayed quiet. The shopkeeper was a kind old man with silver hair. He liked old things. He walked slowly and always wore a soft smile. He cleaned the other mirrors often, polishing their glass. But he didn't clean the scratched mirror much. Still, now and then, he would look at it and say quietly, "Not broken, just waiting." The mirror didn't understand what he meant, but those words stayed inside its wooden frame like a small light many years past. Customers came and went. Children pressed their faces to the windows. People bought shiny things and beautiful mirrors, but no one ever looked at the scratched mirror. It felt like it would stay forgotten forever. Then one day, something different happened. The doorbell rang with a soft jingle. A young woman came into the shop. She wore a long coat with paint stains on the sleeves, and she held a big sketch pad in her arms. Her hair was messy, and she looked around slowly. She didn't walk straight to the shiny mirrors like other people. She looked at the shelves. She smiled at the dusty books. She touched the soft velvet of an old hat. Then she walked deeper into the shop, all the way to the back. She moved the curtain and looked behind the coat rack, and there it was, the scratched mirror. For the first time in a very long time, someone looked straight at it. The girl didn't frown. She didn't walk away. She smiled. She wiped off a little dust with her sleeve and looked at the scratch on the glass. It shined gently in the light, like a silver line across a window. The girl leaned closer and whispered, "You've been through a lot, haven't you?" The mirror didn't know how, but it felt something warm inside, as if someone had finally seen its heart. After the young woman left the shop that day, the scratched mirror felt something it hadn't felt in a long time: hope. It remembered her smile, her gentle touch, her kind eyes. She hadn't looked away. She hadn't laughed or pointed at the scratch. She had looked at it like she saw something good. The other mirrors were confused. Why did she go back there? What could she possibly want with that thing? It's scratched. It's ugly. It doesn't belong here. But the scratched mirror stayed quiet. It didn't know what to say. It just kept thinking about the girl. The next day, the bell above the shop door rang again. It was her. The scratched mirror felt something sparkle inside. If it had a heart, it would have been beating fast. She walked straight to the back, right to the mirror. This time, she brought a small notebook and a pencil. She sat on a wooden stool nearby and began to draw. She looked at the mirror. She looked at the scratch. Then she smiled again and drew something in her notebook. She didn't say much, just one soft whisper. "You're not broken. You're just different." The mirror wanted to cry, but mirrors can't cry, so it simply stood still, glowing inside, even with the scratch across its face. The girl came back the next day, and the day after that. Each time she sat with the mirror. Sometimes she drew. Sometimes she just looked. She even cleaned the dust off its corners with a soft cloth, as if it was something precious. The other mirrors began to grumble. "Why doesn't she come to us? We're perfect, we shine. We're worth more. She's wasting her time." But the shopkeeper just smiled quietly from behind the counter. He dusted his shelves and said softly, "Sometimes people don't want perfect. They want real." The mirrors didn't understand, but the scratched mirror did. One rainy afternoon, the girl stayed longer than usual. She placed her sketchpad on the floor and brought out a small painting from her bag. She stood in front of the scratched mirror, holding the painting next to her face. "I want you to see this," she whispered. The mirror looked. The painting was of a face, not perfect, but gentle and honest. The smile was soft, the eyes were kind, and across the cheek was a faint silver line, just like the scratch. "This is you," the girl said. "You're not like the others. You don't just show what people want to see. You show what's real, what's deep, what's true." The mirror didn't know what to say. No one had ever spoken to it like that. It had always been afraid of its flaw. But now, for the first time, the scratch didn't feel like something wrong. It felt like a story, like a memory, like something beautiful. The next morning, the girl returned with the shopkeeper beside her. She pointed to the scratched mirror and said, "I'd like to buy this one, please." The other mirrors gasped, as much as mirrors could. "Her? But she's scratched. She's not shiny. She's not new." But the shopkeeper only smiled. He looked at the scratched mirror with soft eyes and said, "She's waited long enough." He gently lifted the mirror from the corner. For the first time in years, it was carried with care. The dust was cleaned, the curtain pulled back, and light touched the glass again. As he handed the mirror to the girl, he said, "She's not broken. She was just waiting for someone who could see her clearly." The girl nodded. "I do." And together, they left the shop. The scratched mirror, held in loving hands, stepped out into the sunlight. The girl carried the scratched mirror down the quiet street. The sky was still grey from the rain, and puddles shimmered on the sidewalk. She walked slowly, carefully, as if she was holding something very special, not just glass and wood, but something alive. The mirror had never felt this before. It was used to being forgotten. It was used to the dark corner. Now, it felt the wind. It saw the sky. It saw the world. And most of all, it felt wanted. Soon they reached a small building with colorful flower pots on the steps. There were paint splashes on the door and the window frames. A little sign read, "Studio of Light. Please come in." The girl opened the door and they stepped inside. It was not like the antique shop. This place was full of life. There were paintings hanging on every wall, some finished, some not. There were easels, paintbrushes in glass jars, books stacked in corners, and soft music playing in the background. The scratched mirror looked around and saw things it had never seen before: color, movement, and freedom. The girl set the mirror gently down against a wall near the big window. Sunlight came through the glass, and the mirror caught it, soft and golden, just like the old shopkeeper's smile. The girl stood back and looked at the mirror. "This is your home now," she said kindly. "You'll help me create things. You'll help me see." The mirror didn't understand. It had never helped anyone before. But the girl seemed sure. She sat on the floor, picked up her brush, and looked into the mirror. Not to check her face, not to fix her hair, but to feel. Day after day, the girl painted beside the mirror. Sometimes she stared into it for a long time, then turned to her canvas and began to paint. The mirror noticed something. She didn't just paint what she saw, she painted what she felt. If she felt peaceful, the painting showed soft trees and light skies. If she felt sad, her brush made blue oceans and lonely boats. If she felt brave, the colors were bold and wild and free. And every time she painted, she looked into the scratched mirror. One evening, the girl was painting a woman with silver hair. She had kind eyes and wrinkles around her smile. But on her cheek was something strange, a small curved mark, like a scratch. It looked like the mirror's flaw. The girl stepped back and nodded. "Sometimes," she whispered, "our scars make the painting real." The mirror understood. Maybe the scratch wasn't ugly. Maybe it wasn't bad. Maybe it made things real. Soon other people came to the studio. Some were painters. Some were students. Some were just curious. They looked at the paintings. They smiled. They asked questions. And sometimes they looked into the scratched mirror, and no one laughed. No one stepped back. No one said it was broken. They looked at their faces, then looked again, as if seeing something new, not just their reflection, but something deeper. The mirror showed them everything, even the parts they tried to hide. And slowly, they began to smile. The mirror felt proud. It wasn't just a mirror anymore. It was a part of something. It helped people see the truth. It helped the girl make art. It helped people feel seen. It had a place. It had a purpose. And the scratch? It was no longer something to be ashamed of. It was part of its story, part of its strength, part of its beauty. And so, the scratched mirror found its purpose, not in being perfect, but in showing the truth. Just like that mirror, you don't need to be flawless to be worthy. Sometimes, your flaws are your light, your scars, your struggles, your story. They all make you who you are. If this story touched your heart, let me know in the comments below. What's one imperfection that helped you grow? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more heartwarming stories just like this one. And remember, you are enough, exactly as you are.